We have the privilege of being with the man, the brains behind Tested, one of the stars of the Mythbusters, and of course, inspiration to makers and inventors everywhere, Mr. Adam Savage. Thank you very much for speaking with us.
Thanks for having me.
Now, there are people out there who don't remember a time when it wasn't cool to be smart. It wasn't cool to make things. It wasn't cool to make stuff. And I think you and your cohorts really changed that. What do you attribute that to? When did it become all right to create things?
It wasn't part of our design to do that. I feel like Mythbusters came along at just this perfect time when making as a hobby and then as a movement was really ascendant. And so we grew up alongside that movement, the DIY movement. And as I said out there in my talk, I think we're at this really great moment when computing power and the economies of scale have made the ability for even the youngest kids to program and understand on a deep level machine learning and machine programming, as well as 3D printing and basic making, the inspiration of seeing a kid make something really viable. I met a kid who seemed like he was like 12 years old who had his own design for a watch, an interactive wearable piece of tech. That sort of thing just grows exponentially, and we've been lucky enough to be a part of it.
Of all the advancements that you've seen since, say, the start of the Mythbusters, from the Arduino and programmable microcontrollers that are accessible to the regular people, to 3D printers, what has been the trend that has excited you the most?
When it comes to translating things from the computer into a machine, the biggest problem is the CAD/CAM pipeline, the translation from the person's brain to a computer screen in 3D, and then the translation from that to software that turns that into a path for a machine is really still incredibly primitive. And there are a lot of people like Neil Gershenfeld and Glowforge that are working hard to reduce that CAD/CAM pipeline to zero. I think that's going to be really exciting when it becomes much more intuitive.
Of course, Mythbusters has ended its run, which has led to increased opportunity for you.
Yes.
But I'm not sure if some of the people out there understand how active you were even before the end of Mythbusters. You have been an icon at every Maker Faire. You have been a stalwart of every major con, and you're one of the fan favorites. What does this time hold for you?
On a day-to-day basis, the kind of stuff that I did on Mythbusters and the kind of stuff I do on Tested is not very glamorous. I'm in my shop getting dirty, cutting myself, trying to make stuff, failing, succeeding, etc. But coming out here and getting feedback from the fans, getting inspired by watching what other people are taking and running with is really exciting, and seeing it in different communities like the cons, like Maker Faire, even the stage show that I take around the country. It is the closest I'll ever get to feeling like an actual rock star.
I don't think you feel like a rock star. You are like a rock star to millions of people who like to invent. Let's leave one last bit for our audience. Okay. There are people in there who get discouraged because they try things and it doesn't work, or people don't like it, or they hear horrible comments from people on the internet.
Yeah.
What would you like to say to the nascent maker, to that person who is just starting out, or maybe that person who's been at it for so long and just can't find traction?
Well, the thing is that when people get discouraged, they need to understand that everybody gets discouraged. In fact, it's not even like they get discouraged sometimes. It's every project will discourage you at some point. Whenever you want to take something and make it excellent, whenever you want to do something that's better than you currently know how to do, you're going to have to pour yourself into it. And when you do that, you make yourself vulnerable. And that vulnerability means that when things don't go right, it hurts and you feel it keenly. That's part of the process. That's actually not a bug, it's a feature. And it is making you a better person. You are learning more about how you tick. You are confronting failure in a safe environment and being able to push past it. Look, it's no less distracting to me to be discouraged today than it was when I was 12 years old. I just know a little bit more about the fact that I just keep needing to make stuff in order to push past it. It's not going to go away immediately, and it's going to come back again. It's just part of the process.
Mr. Savage, thank you so very much for speaking with us. Thank you for your time. Thank you for years and years of inspiring people around the world. Here at Maker Faire, remember, failure is not only just an option, it's also part of the process.
Well done.